Okay. This is the Free American. I am Clay Douglas. And let me do this. I'm starting this second half here, and I want a little music here. Let me do a little music, and then I'll take a call. I'll take a call then. Hang on. Alright, here we're back for the second half of the Free American Hour. My guest didn't show up. Sorry to hear that. But I've been working on an article about psychological warfare. I've been telling you for years we're in war, and we're in warfare. We're in war here. But we're not allowed to identify the enemies. If you, in the Soviet Union, if you told anybody that Lenin was Jewish, or that Marx was Jewish, it was a capital offense. That's not capital, that's capital. They pull the trigger and put a bullet in your brain. And that's almost to that point now. I've been publishing the Free American for 20 some odd years. I've come a long way in knowledge and experience since I walked out of prison with my first novel under my arm. And I do not say this with any hint of apology. I was threatened with a life sentence if I did not accept a plea bargain of 7 years. The charge? Possession of marijuana. The next state over, it was a misdemeanor. Today, in 10 states, if I followed all of their rules, guidelines, and paid off all of the state and medical and pharmaceutical industries, I and a few million other lawbreakers could smoke what we smoked for 40 years without fear of fines or imprisonment in 10 states. And even those situations are mere extensions of the police state of global government. Many in the Christian and patriot movements have bought into the Hearst-style propaganda that allowed the communists to steal our #1 cash crop. You know, the one they used to make the paper the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and Bill of Rights was written on. Because, you know, folks, I've traveled to 49 states, 7 countries. I've owned and run many businesses, published several magazines that were distributed nationally for many years. I've written many articles for many different magazines and books. 50% of my national magazine, Arizona Thunder Riders, was sold to a publicly traded company for $500,000, a sale that was not allowed to be completed. The Free American magazine was sold in most major bookstores like Books A Million and Barnes & Noble for many years, until the accident. Now, my Trevor Cameron fiction series, they're pretty good. I wrote them as a continuation of the Travis McGee series, and as a tribute to John D. MacDonald, one of my favorite authors, after John died. I met Maynard MacDonald, his son, John's son, at the John D. MacDonald conference at Bahia Mar in Fort Lauderdale. I docked my boat, the Sea Deuced, and the slip marked with a plaque for the fictional busted flush. I went to an event. that we were supposed to go as your favorite McDonald character. I went as myself. When Maynard asked me who I was supposed to be, I said, well, I came as Trevor McGee, the son Travis never knew he had. He was Molly B's son, you know, the one Travis slept with in the deep blue goodbye. I wonder how much he paid lawyers to deal with me. He returned the manuscripts. Yeah, well, according to the attorney, I wrote all just like John D. MacDonald. My manuscripts were sent to his son Maynard in New Zealand by them to show that all of my work was original. There were no trademark violations. He returned the manuscripts unopened. So I voluntarily pardon me while I'm editing. I voluntarily changed my character's original name from Trevor McGee Hamilton to Trevor Cameron Hamilton, but Trevor still feels that MacDonald met his father, Shannon, at Bahia Mar and based the character of Travis McGee on him. I think I may have handled it wrong. I should have sued for child support. My books are published and available on Amazon. Needless to say, I did not get along very well with the British agents of the banksters who are members of the Bar Association or IRS agent. I have a script that a Hollywood lawyer wanted me to submit to HBO, but he pressured me to sign a contract that would have given him percentages for his role as my agent, my manager, and my lawyer. I rudely declined after driving a few hundred miles to meet him and being left on his front porch for 45 minutes. Yeah, I should be rolling in the door in my name of a household word, but I'm not. My nonfiction autobiography, master's degree thesis, Mystery Babylon, is being used as a textbook in a Bible college. It is by God's grace that I'm still alive, not among the millions of newly homeless Americans. I've readily accepted challenges in business and life. I'm the guy who flew to 4 corners of the country to put 4 businesses together. I was a problem solver. I was good at marketing and writing. Being poor is a new experience. But even more frustrating is that the problems that need solving were not of my creation, and most stem from an accident on May 20th of 2004. Before that, the problems I had were the same as we all faced at one time in our lives. The first problem is that of government, and this is what we were talking about today about McCarthy. He tried to point it out, and because a lot of the communists were Jewish, and a lot of our bankers were Jewish, they tried to make McCarthyism a bad word. Communism in Russia was referred to as Judaism for the masses. What happened in Russia is happening here, and these same people are doing it, folks. Now, the attack on the men and women in a Christian collective in Waco was the awakening for me. When asked if I was a Republican or Democrat, I replied, in my opinion, they were 2 wings of the same bird. I was almost comfortable being called a right-wing extremist under Clinton, but when the real right wing got into power under Bush Jr., I guess I became a liberal. But the last comments Judge Napolitano made echo what I've been telling you for years, because he got too close to the truth. He and Pat Buchanan were both taken off the air with a little less pain than in my case. Hopefully they're in a better position financially than myself, and will be able to continue getting a modicum of truth out and not have their lives ruined. Let me show you. Let me show you what their what Judge Napolitano had to say when he was kicked off. Judge, how to get fired in under 5 minutes. He gave you a bit of
participation
here on
in a process that validates an establishment that never meaningfully changes. What if that establishment doesn't want and doesn't have the consent of the governed? What if the two-party system was actually a mechanism used to limit so-called public opinion? What if there were more than two sides to every issue, but the two parties wanted to box you into a corner, one of their corners? What if there's no such thing as public opinion, because every thinking person has opinions that are uniquely his own? What if what we call public opinion was just a manufactured narrative that makes it easier to convince people that if their views are different, then there's something wrong with that, or there's something wrong with them? What if the whole purpose of the Democratic and Republican parties was not to expand voters' choices, but to limit them? What if the widely perceived differences between the two parties was just an illusion? What if the heart of the government policy remains the same no matter who's in the White House? What if the heart of government policy remains the same no matter what the people want? What if those vaunted differences between Democrat and Republican were actually just minor disagreements? What if both parties just want power and are willing to have young people fight meaningless wars in order to enhance that power? What if both parties continue to fight the war on drugs just to give bureaucrats and cops bigger budgets and more jobs? What if government policies didn't change when government leaders did? What if no matter who won an election, government stayed the same? What if government was really a revolving door for political hacks bent on exploiting the people once they're in charge? What if both parties supported welfare, war, debt, bailouts, and big government? What if the rhetoric that candidates displayed on the campaign trail was dumped after electoral victory? What if Barack Obama campaigned as an anti-war, civil liberties candidate and then waged senseless wars while assaulting your rights that the Constitution is supposed to protect? What if George W. Bush campaigned on a platform of non-intervention and small government and then waged a foreign policy of muscular military intervention and a domestic policy of vast government borrowing and growth? What if Bill Clinton declared that the era of big government was over, but actually just convinced Republicans like Newt Gingrich that they can get what they want out of big government too? What if the Republicans went along with it? What if Ronald Reagan spent 6 years running for president, promising to shrink the government, but then the government grew while he was in the White House? What if, notwithstanding Reagan's ideas and cheerfulness and libertarian rhetoric, there really was no Reagan revolution at all? What if all this is happening again? What if Rick Santorum is being embraced by voters who want small government, even though Senator Santorum voted for the Patriot Act, for an expansion of Medicare, and for raising the debt ceiling by trillions of dollars? What if Mitt Romney is being embraced by voters who want anyone but Barack Obama, but they don't realize that Mitt Romney might as well be Barack Obama on everything from warfare to welfare? What if Ron Paul is being ignored by the media, not because, as it claims, he's unappealing or unelectable, but because he doesn't fit into the pre-manufactured public opinion mold used by the establishment to pigeonhole the electorate and create the so-called narrative that drives media coverage of elections? What if the biggest difference between most candidates was not substance, but style? What if those stylistic differences were packaged as substantive ones to reinforce the illusion of a difference between Democrats and Republicans? What if Mitt Romney wins and ends up continuing most of the same policies that Barack Obama promoted? What if Barack Obama's policies, too, are merely extensions of those from George W. Bush? What if a government that manipulated us could be fired? What if a government that lacked the true and knowing consent of the governed could be dismissed? What if it were possible to have a real game changer? What if we need a Ron Paul to preserve and protect our freedoms from the government? What if we could make elections matter again? What if we could do something about this? From New York, defending freedom every night of the week. Participation in a process that validates and establishes
and being silenced. Now, folks, what I started there to tell you is that we're in a war, and I've got a tape up, and I'm not going to play it right now because I'm going to take a couple of phone calls. I'm going to take a couple of phone calls. David, is that you? Hello, David, is that you? 310 area code. Yeah, hello. Who have I got here?
Me, Clay. I didn't think I punched my button.
You didn't punch your button, but you punched it now. And
okay, I was out in the garage starting the car.
Okay.
But I've been listening. I've been listening on the phone every day and every time you're on.
I appreciate that. And stay with me. I'm going to take another call here, and let's see who we got from.
Sure.
Let's see who we got from the 804 area code. Hello, who do we have here?
Hey, Mr. Douglas.
Yes, sir.
I'm just listening and everything, but you know what? No sooner white America wake up to the Bible, they're better off. Now, I told you, I begged you to research Moses ben Maimonides, and there's he raps of it. That's where the Bible came from.
Send me information on the email, and I'll certainly take a look at it. I appreciate you listening, and you know, the Bible certainly got a lot of truths in it. Certainly good to look at, but the Bible's also being used by the churches to control you the same way they are controlling you with the newspapers and the television media. But thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. I sure appreciate it, bud.
Thank you.
All right. And hello, is whoops. Is this Ann? Hello, Ann, is that you? Hello, 918 area code. You're calling into the Free American Hour. Okay, I can hear you typing, but I can't hear you talking, so I'll just put you back on hold. David, how are you? You know, this was a great little talk that Judge Napolitano, you said on Fox, as he was being fired for saying it. And you know, it's this whole scam about being anti-Semitic is part of the thing. It's a trick that they use to try to hide the whole communism, right?
Yep. They're hiding everything from us, or they're trying to, but it's all coming out this next year.
Well, I know I know. What's that? Go ahead.
Somebody put on the board they're having a voting going on in the state of Arizona today.
A loading?
A voting.
A voting?
V-O-T.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wondered who they were voting for.
I have no idea. You know, I quit voting after our presidential campaign in 1996.
Right. Well, the thing about voting is you got to use a write-in vote nowadays if you want to get it counted by anything other than the elite or on those voting machines. Anybody who votes on a voting machine, they're gonna taint your votes. So everyone, state, city, federal, do a write-in vote. What's the problem now? I don't understand.
Well, the main problem that you've got is nobody knows about you. They are controlling the media. This is why they are so afraid. They're so afraid of me because suddenly I was reaching 20,000 people, and I've been telling you the same thing that Judge Napolitano just talked about. And I don't have any idea who the pilgrim is on my chat room. But if you wanna be a guest on my show, get on the phone, call me. And this is another thing. Now, I've almost reached the point, David. First of all, let me tell you folks that I've told you that I'm basically dropping out of the Patriot movement. Well, because I'm almost to the point to believe that the elite are correct, or that the New World Order is correct, that you're too goddamn dumb to rule yourselves. Because I've been trying
I believe you.
David, I've been trying to educate people. Here's what communism is. Here's what McCarthy was about. They demonized McCarthy the same way they tried to demonize me. They don't want anybody talking about freedom. They don't want anybody talking about the control system that have controlled the world. I mean, these whole Pharisees, like this idiot pilgrim on my site right now, Ted, they're cowards. They hide from behind. They deal in whispers. They don't tell you the truth. And this is communism in action. This is communism in action.
Yep. It's all it's all coming to a head here at this next election. I think we're either going to make it or it's going to break us all. And if it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, but look, nobody knows about you. Ron Paul. Now Ron Paul is the one person that's out there that's talking about the Constitution, and
Yeah.
there's he's got a tremendous following, but the magazines, the newspapers, and everything are fighting against it.
Yeah, well, this is now it's almost perfect timing. I mean, our Creator is letting all the rest of them get up and say their piece, and then he's going to bring us up at the last minute, Clayton. And it's kind of funny, but that's just the way God works for all time. He doesn't do something until it's necessary, and it's not necessary right yet. But you're like John the Baptist, and that's like one of your followers, and we're just staring up on rocks and calling out to the crowd now. But don't worry, we're going to have a big microphone.
All right, you're breaking up, so I'm going to let you just listen here. All right, folks, what I'm trying to, I'm going back to writing science fiction, because the science fiction that I wrote 40 years ago is exactly what needs to happen now, and it's happened in 10 states. Medical marijuana ain't the answer, folks. That's part of it. That's more government, And what's happened to me is an accident, and folks, I can tell you, the accident, if it was an accident at all, put me in hospitals in a 3-month-long drug-induced coma. Supposedly I had a brain injury. That was the reason they gave my family for the drugs. I got no memory of 3 months in the hospital. My sons finally ordered them to take me off the drugs. Once I was allowed to wake up, the 3 broken ribs and collarbone had healed pretty well, and I was up walking and talking. What about the brain injury? I was told I was violent. I awoke in a cell in the hospital. The door was not locked. Communication with my family did not go well. After 3 months of drugs and a $750,000 hospital bill, who knew if my mental state was due to the drugs or the head injury? To this day, I do not know the truth. A few days after a few days of consciousness, amazed that I was walking and talking, after being T-boned on my totaled Harley, within a few days of functional awareness, I got a couple of visitors wearing blue pinstripe suits, no ties, who asked if I'd been hallucinating. I had been, but I had told no one, not my family nor the doctors. A little I responded, "Who are you? Where's CIA? You can thank us for that." Now, folks, this whole thing was a psychological operation on me. It is still happening. It is still happening. Rumors, phone calls, and turning my magazine away, turning the radio show away so you can't get it in the library. They do not want you to know the truth. They did the same to McCarthy. They did the same, and they're doing the same thing to Ron Paul that they did to Charles Collins in 1996. We are trying to make a difference. I need to sell some books. I need to get more information out. I need your help. I need your support. And that's one of the strangest things. like I said, I'm starting to feel that the elite are right. You know, I'm working for you. I am trying to do something for you. I want to do something for you. I want to do this for my grandchildren and my children. I need help. I don't need hassles. I don't need people to, you know, try to sell me on their brand of religion. I'm not out for that. You worship any way you want. The Constitution takes care of that. I took an oath to defend the Constitution. That's what I'm trying to do here. And the way I do it is by selling my books, by doing this radio show, by trying to inform you that the people in control of your government, the neocons, they might happen to be Jewish. It doesn't matter about that. They're really criminals. The bankers are the criminals. These people that put you in jail for smoking a joint, they are the criminals, not you. And my new books, my new novels will cover that. We're going to deal with that in a fictional manner. When I wrote it 40 years ago, it was fiction. It's a lot closer to fact now. And folks, I've been publishing for almost 30 years. And I have never been sued for libel or slander. I'm not insulting nobody. I'm not calling nobody's names. You can worship any way you want. I don't care. Just don't expect me to get down on my knees with you Christians. Don't expect me to stick my nose in the dirt and my ass up in the air with you Muslims. And don't expect me to bang my head against that wailing wall with you communist Jews. I ain't gonna do it. I'm talking about freedom. I'm talking about liberty. That's what the Free American has always been about. And that's what it's still about. I need your support. I need your help. For $20, you can send it to PayPal, playfreeamerican.com. You can do that.
The talk today is called September 11th, Should the Truth Be Revealed or Concealed? Now you might think it's obvious. Of course the truth should be revealed. But that depends upon what the truth is and who you are. Members of the elite of our society may not think the truth should be revealed, given what it is. I'll come to that question at the end of my lecture. First I must discuss.
All right. Merry Christmas. Okay, hang on a minute. I'll take care. Let me